You're all right. You're safe. Go about your day. Enjoy what little grass is left. Pretty critters. It's nice to see you. Hello. Welcome to the ranch. Today we're going to be talking about leaves. Just what you should do with them, or can do with them. There are options, and we'll cover a few and see what you think. And you'll see why I say F those leaves. You know, fall comes and it's hard to figure out what to do with leaves. As I drive around town, I see a lot of people doing different stuff with leaves. You see people running over them with their lawnmowers, people raking them up, and then they just have to keep doing it as more and more leaves fall. So it's sort of a never-ending job for some of these people. Well, is there something different could be done with them? Is there other options? I tend to believe so. You know, there's different schools of thoughts and whatnot with leaves. But I'm going to tell you what I do with them and what I think about them. And you can decide for yourself if it's right for you or not. Just the other day, I was talking to my dad about leaves. He'd been raking them and raking them. And he had his opinion, and I've got mine. You know, I got to respect his opinion because he's a first-rate gardener. He's won awards and things for the work he's done in the garden. And he has even more years of experience than I do. So he's definitely worth listening to and considering his view on things. Now mine is different. I just hate to see all that good organic matter going to waste. You know, a lot of you are probably composting them, and that's a great thing. Puts that nutrients back in your soil, feeds your plants, and makes for a healthier environment. That's a great way to go. Don't see nothing wrong with that. Another option is you can feed them to animals. Makes excellent livestock feed. You got to make sure you're not got any poisonous plants and things like that. You don't want to be doing that, but the majority of trees, livestock will graze on them, and it can be part of their ration in their diet. I believe that the more variety the livestock has, the more healthy they're going to be. So adding in some leaves is perfect. Not in my pasture, the leaves are just eaten by the animals. So I could go around, I could rake them up and feed them directly. But is that still the best way? Not so sure about that. You may have seen a lot of people that are into this chop and drop gardening, and I agree with that. You know, I just want to be careful with my chop and drop. If a weed is in seed, then I want to clip out those seed heads and do something else with them, or use those weeds to also feed livestock. But with leaves, you know, how does nature do it? They all fall to the ground. The deer and elk and other wildlife, they make use of it. They don't eat it all. There's plenty of leaves. They're gone by spring. They just add to building those very rich mountain soils. Those mountain soils may be thin, but they can be very, very rich. If you go out in the woods, a lot of times you can just take a handful of soil and it feels perfect. It makes the best bag stuff look terrible. So we want to emulate that in our gardens. Get that richness and that perfect balance in our own food forests and gardens. And the best way to do that, really, so I say just leave them. back up just a little bit. When I was talking about my dad, I think the biggest problem my dad actually has is they're just too ugly. I told him, I was telling him my point of view of just leave those leaves. And he says it'll kill your lawn. Well, I've left my leaves many years and it won't. I think his issue really is he just doesn't like the way they look. And so he rakes them up. Now, that's just fine. A lot of you are probably gonna rake up your leaves. But if you're not composting, maybe you could find a farmer or somebody that would let you put them on his place. Instead of filling up our landfills and things with leaves, you know, some of these farmers out there, they could be putting it in as a part of their ration. It's not a standalone feed. That's one good way of getting rid of them. And then in turn, that livestock will turn it into valuable fertilizer so you're reincorporating them back into the soil. You know, I'm just mostly trying to encourage you to do something with them. Do something with your leaves besides throwing them in the local landfill. You know, let's be part of the solution and not part of the problem. There is such a thing as they could be too thick or something, so I'd recommend kind of spreading them out. And if you do have too many leaves, then you may have to do something with some of them besides just leave them on your lawn. For the most part, they're going to do all right. It's going to do all right. I have read where there's some funguses and things like that that could affect your lawn and cause you some problems. But overall, I haven't found that to be an issue. One year I did get a little bit of fungus, and the moisture and the leaves were just right in early spring. But a couple good days of warm temperatures, and that fungus was gone. I couldn't see any damage done to any plants or the lawn. Just part of the cycle. I just want to encourage you to find an alternate use for them leaves. Think outside the box what you can do with them. It's just going to benefit you and the planet. It's going to give us better farms and yards and vegetable gardens into the future if we put those leaves back into the system. Well, that's about all I got for you today. I'd like to thank you for stopping in and checking out my channel. I really do appreciate you, and look forward to sharing some more of my knowledge in the future. So have a great day and check back in on me again sometime.